It is so great seeing my next guest back in action. He's going to be back at UFC 275 June 11th, taking on Ramazan Emeev. It is Della Maddalena back here on the program. Jack, how are you, man?
Yeah, really good, James. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's good to talk to you. And pretty big news here. You're going to be opening up this pay-per-view second UFC fight. You got to be stoked about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait. It's such a good spot to be on the card, like opening up the pay-per-view. So be a lot of eyes. So hopefully a good performance to follow.
Were you surprised by that just because it's only your second UFC fight, or are you like, hey, they must really like me if they're going to put me on the pay-per-view?
Yeah, a bit of both. I was definitely surprised. I didn't think I would get on the main card just yet, but hey, I'm more than happy to oblige to that and
Yeah.
hopefully put on a good show for the fans.
Absolutely, and part of that reason was your UFC debut, man. You obviously don't get paid by the hour because you went out there and got a really impressive finish. Just your overall thoughts. Could that debut have gone any better in the UFC?
I think it went pretty well. Had a little bit of time to move around in there, and yeah, got my opponent out of there early, which is always my goal. So yeah, made it happen, and got a nice win. Just didn't
Yeah.
get that bonus, but hopefully this time we can get the bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And a really good opponent here. You're fighting a really tough guy in the division, Emeev, 20-5 record. One of those guys that's been covering, sort of hovering around the rankings. So a good step up for you here. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
Yeah, I think I match up pretty well against him. He seems like he's obviously got that Russian sort of wrestling style. In my opinion, I reckon he's pretty flat-footed. So my game plan is just to move around and try and sting him a lot. But yeah, I think I match up well. I think it's going to be a good fight. He's a good opponent for that. Yeah, good opponent for me to test myself.
And are you one of those guys that, do you bring in like certain training partners for your opponent, or is it just business as usual? You keep winning. It's like, we might as well just keep things how they are.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good team at Scrappy MMA, so I sort of just keep everyone the same. We've all got different skills that for example, if we need to work on something in particular, there's always a guy there for the job that can help us out. So we've got a pretty like team of all sorts of different fighters there. So yeah, no, nothing business as usual. Just keep ticking along and working hard.
Who have been some of your main training partners this camp leading into the fight?
Definitely my brother Josh, Jack Becker, who's an Australian lightweight champion.
Eternal MMA. I know all about him. He's quite the talent.
Yeah, definitely. He's actually fighting this weekend, and then just got a lot of boys fighting this weekend. Lawrence, White Smith, Candiata, Wyatt Fraser. The list goes on. Rod Costa. We got so many good fighters. So super lucky to have everyone there at the team.
Well, and the timing as well. All them fighting kind of close to you as well. What's the vibe like in the gym? It must be pretty good if everyone's kind of getting ready at the same time.
Yeah, it's perfect. I think the boys are fighting 2 weeks before me, so training camp was pretty much on. Yeah, it was pretty much on the same time zone, so it just made sense. Everyone's just working hard as usual, and we normally always have someone fighting very soon. But to have everyone, pretty much the whole team fighting pretty much at the same time is special. Had a good vibe in the gym at the moment.
And what's it like as well? Some of those names you mentioned, I know, probably on the Australian scene, everyone knows who those names are. I mean, I obviously do my research, but what's it like being a part of a team that, is kind of unknown to sort of the North American audience, and you're kind of, working your way towards being like that American top team or one of those like bigger notable gyms. What's it like to be a part of that, knowing you guys are all sort of on the come up together?
Yeah, we're super lucky. There's such a good sort of like culture in our team. Everyone really does want everyone else to lift up with them. No, there's no one person that wants to be better than everyone else. Everyone wants the whole team to get better. And when we have a good performance, everyone feels it like they've put in the work to get that performance. So yeah, it's just a really good team. Everyone's trying to improve and get better.
And it sounds like a good mix as well of, pros. I'm sure you have some amateurs there and as well, just to give you, a variety of looks. How important is that in camp to be put in those different situations?
Yeah, definitely. It's so important to have different variety of people with different different skills. I think you can learn in this sport. You can sort of pick up different stuff from anybody, or even down to the amateurs. So yeah, having such like a strong team and diverse group of people is always makes it so much easier for us.
Now, I'm a Canadian, and I don't know very much about geography when it comes to the rest of the world. But what's the travel going to be looking like for you to go to Singapore? Like, how does that work? How long's the flight and all that?
Super lucky. Singapore is same time zone to Perth,
Oh,
and
awesome. Okay,
it's only like a 5 hour trip.
nice. So that's
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty quick. It's pretty much the same distance it would take to get from the other side of Australia. So it's pretty much still almost feels like home. There's a lot of Australians that are going to be heading over. A lot of people from Perth heading over. So I feel like it might feel just like home.
Excellent. And on that note, how's the weight cut going? I mean, we got what, a couple weeks here, but still, the fact that it's not that much travel makes it a bit easier to cut that weight, I would imagine.
Yeah, way easier. I think nothing. Sitting on a plane for that long trip to the US is pretty tiring. So just having that quick flight just makes everything that much easier. And yeah,
And,
pretty standard stuff. Just cutting down now, trying to get as lean as possible. But yeah, everything's running smoothly, and it should be pretty easy.
what are you missing right now during camp that you can't eat that you're probably going to go to right after you're done the fight?
To be honest, I think this weekend I'll have my last sort of cheat meal, 2 weeks out, and then 2 weeks I'll be pretty strict. But I'm actually still eating pretty good, and the weight's coming off. I have
Oh,
that
good.
one sort of cheat meal a week to keep my mental state well. But yeah,
Okay.
nothing yet. I probably next week I'll start to get those cravings. But yeah, no, at the moment I'm eating pretty well, more than
Okay,
usual.
good. What is your cheat meal of the week? What do you enjoy eating?
Oh, I like a burger. A cheeseburger is I can't I love a cheeseburger. I'll probably get a cheeseburger on the weekend at some
Okay.
point.
There you go. I like that. That sounds delicious. And then who's going to be making the trip with you as far as your corner?
We've got actually a solid team coming over. I've got Ben Vickers, like the head coach, got my brother Josh and Ryan Gray, and then Jack Becker's going to be coming over as well. So we've got a solid
Nice.
team. There'll be five of us
Good.
cruising
Nice
over.
crew.
Yeah, it was a
That's
good crew.
Yeah, so no one will give you any trouble. Five's a good number to have when you're around there if anyone's going to start anything, but that's good. How's this fight playing out? You know, the one thing with Emeev, an extremely tough guy to take out and to finish. How do you see this fight unfolding on June 11th?
I'm definitely going to be trying to take him out from the get-go. I want to get that finish. I'm always sort of chasing the finish, put the stamp on the fight. So, yeah, I think the keys to victory is just to keep the movements. Don't stay on the center line. Just keep moving and keep stinging and try to get that finish.
I mentioned it there. Your opponent obviously not ranked, but a guy that's got a really good record, really tough to put out. If you get a finish in this fight, especially because he's never been finished in the octagon, where does that put you in the grand scheme of things? Because I gotta imagine you got to be close to the rankings even after just two fights.
I hope so. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and get that finish. If I get the finish, I would definitely really like an opponent next that would get me into that top 15. That would be the goal. But yeah, the finish is definitely my goal to get in this fight, and I believe I will get it and
Okay.
shock the world.
And your last fight, everyone was talking about it. I mean, people were talking about you being a problem for this division. How do you sort of stay level-headed, not get caught up in the hype? Because every time we get a guy making their debut and they get look really impressive like you did, sometimes you can get a little bit caught up in that. How do you keep a level head with that?
I don't know. I just sort of look at my next opponent and realize that I've just obviously got to stay level-headed to get the win, and I think that's the most important thing is getting these wins. And if you get caught up in your previous performances, I think you're probably going to have a tough time in your next fight. So I'm just ready for the next fight and hopefully put on a good performance in this one. But yeah, I understand the challenges that Ramazan is going to give me. So I'm just super confident, but also I'm very ready for whatever he brings, and I'll be ready to fight 3 rounds if need be.
And of course, winning on Contender Series, getting the UFC contract, then winning the debut. Obviously, there's levels, and I'm sure you're seeing, way more followers on social media, way more attention. How have you dealt with that? Because I mean, that's something that I'm sure you knew and expected once you got to this level. But how do you deal with how have you dealt with just getting all this fame and popularity?
It's cool to see so many people reaching out, giving me support. But you also get the people that sort of leave bad comments around, but that's cool. I
Mostly
like it
people
all.
who probably bet on the other guy, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I'm happy. I enjoy every second of it. It's awesome to see. But yeah, I understand that this sport, you've just got to get those wins, and if you keep winning, that will keep coming. But the number one important thing is seeing what challenges you face ahead and overcoming them. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going to do.
Top of your division, we got Kamaru Usman as the champ. It looks like he's going to be out a little bit longer. There's talk of maybe an interim title fight. Do you think like a Leon Edwards, Hamzat Chimaev fight makes sense? What are you thinking for the division at the top of the heap there if they do need to do an interim title while Kamaru's on the sidelines?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to see. I think Leon Edwards needs to be in the if they do an interim fight. I think as long as Leon Edwards is there, I think that's pretty fair. But
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely see Leon Edwards and Jemiah being that would be a pretty interesting matchup.
Yeah.
But I think as long as I think Leon Edwards needs to be in that title picture, I believe.
Yeah, 10 fight unbeaten streak. I know a lot of people talk about, who he fought, but has anyone had worse luck than that guy? He had the Woodley fight canceled because of COVID. He had the title shot with Usman, which he couldn't even leave the country. And then he fights Nate Diaz. He beats him, but everyone's talking about this fifth round where he got rocked, right? So he kind of got a bit of a raw deal. I'm with you there. I think Leon deserves an opportunity at a title shot for sure because I don't know what else,
Yeah,
he needs to do at this point, right? So.
yeah, definitely. And he's very good. I think he's technically probably one of the top. I think he probably is the top welterweight at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see him and Usman's going to be a pretty incredible fight.
Yeah, well, it'll be a rematch. If you remember, the last time he lost was actually against Usman years ago, but obviously they've both become different fighters at this point. So that's what's
Yeah, definitely. Both different fighters. It was also a pretty close fight. I remember watching it. It's pretty close, that fight.
Mhm.
You can
Yeah.
see where both guys could get the win again. So
All right.
exciting fight. Hopefully we see that one in the future.
And last question before we get out of here. What's downtime looking like? I know you're in the gym training, getting ready for this fight, but you getting in any Netflix, any video games? What's that little bit of free time? What have you been up to?
Yeah, a bit of Netflix, and I like surfing. The surf is up now
Oh,
in
cool.
Perth, so I like to just get out and get that cold water therapy and get to the surf. But yeah, most of downtime is sort of the Netflix, just relaxing, and then if the surf's up, I'll get out there.
Do you go surfing every day?
Nah, not every day. If the waves are good, I will go try and get out there.
Okay. Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
that's
one day I'll surf every day.
yeah, no,
Retired.
I was gonna say that's the retirement plan right now is to surf every day,
Yeah,
which is great.
definitely.
So if I hacked into your Netflix and I looked under continue watching, what would it say? What are you watching right now on Netflix?
Right now, mate, it's not actually on Netflix what I'm watching. We've got Stan, but it's called Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah, I've heard the show. Yeah.
Stuck in my partner Michelle's got me into it, and I'm sort of stuck in there. I'm season 3 now. I'm actually excited for it to end. I feel like I'm stuck in this handmaid's world, but I'm into that at the moment. It's pretty interesting. It's an interesting show.
It is. And this is going to be an interesting fight, man. I can't wait. UFC 275, the pay-per-view opener. I can't wait. June 11th. Jack, thanks so much for the time, especially in the morning. I know you're getting your day started and everything. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, I'll give you the last word.
It's Jack Della Maddalena, my full name. It's a long one. But yeah, that's where you'll find me on Instagram, see what I'm up to. And yeah, I just shout out to my team, Scrappy MMA. It's #1 team in the world, I believe.